Hi everyone! This is Daneve Maghuyop, a BPE-3 student of Rizal Memorial State University. And for today's video, I will be sharing to you an information about the history of soccer, football, and futsal. So, let's start! Soccer, or better known to the rest of the world as football, is one of the oldest sports in history. Dating back to 206 BC, there are accounts of Chinese soldiers playing choo-choo or kicking the ball to supplement their training regiments during the Han Dynasty. While many other ancient cultures played games involving a ball, choo-choo was the first to not allow hands. Goals consisted of a net attached to two bamboo poles and elevated 30 feet in the air. This is quite the contrast to modern goals that sit on the ground and extend 8 feet and 24 feet wide. The particular style of playing a game with the ball centered around one's feet spread throughout the world. During the medieval period in Europe, particularly in England, games were played in towns that pitted rival squads against one another. This was called folkball. The goal was to place the ball into the designated area, usually the captain's house, to score a point. This would often entail a distance of a few miles between scoring destinations. Games typically resulted in low-scoring matches as the process of advancing the ball would be brutal and without regard to one's well-being. Without any set rules, the game would cause massive commotion throughout the towns in which it was held, leading to its ban in the 14th century. In 1863, official rules for football were drawn up to create an organized game in England. These rules formally differentiated between rugby football and association football. Hence, modern football was born. As more clubs agreed to Football Association or FA rules, the desire to breed uniform leagues emerged. In 1872, the first FA Cup was played, and by 1888, a league was formed with 128 teams participating in some capacity. England's love for the game rubbed off on neighboring European countries, eventually making its way to South America. And by 1907, there were 12 official FA leagues worldwide. 7 members formed the International Federation of Football Association, or the FIFA, in Paris, France in 1904. Those members included Belgium, France, Holland, Denmark, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. In 1930, the year of the first World Cup, FIFA had reached 40 members. Association football, more commonly known as football or soccer, does not have a classical history, notwithstanding any similarities to other ball games played around the world. FIFA has recognized that no historical connection exists with any game played in antiquity outside Europe. The modern rules of association football are based on the mid-19th century efforts to standardize the widely varying forms of football played in the public schools of England. The history of football in England dates back to at least the 8th century CE. The development of modern-day association football has its origins in medieval ball games and English public school games. The modern game of association football originated with mid-19th century efforts between local football clubs to standardize the varying sets of rules, culminating in formation of the Football Association in London, England in 1863. The rules drafted by the association allowed clubs to play each other without dispute, and specifically banned both handling of the ball except the goalkeepers and hacking during open field play. After the meeting of the association, a schism emerged between association football and the rules played by the rugby school, later to be called rugby football. Football has been an Olympic sport ever since the second modern Summer Olympic Games in 1900s. Records trace the history of soccer back more than 2,000 years ago to ancient China. Greece, Rome, and parts of Central America also claim to have started the sport. But it was England that transitioned soccer, or what the British and many other people around the world called football, into the game we know today. Futsal is a form of fast-flowing 5A-side football that allows the promotion of individual close ball skills. These skills are developed through an increased number of touches and reduced amount of space, demanding players to have heightened reflexes and make rapid in-game decisions. The game has been designed to promote the use of attacking flair, providing an intense, all-action game that allows players to be at their most creative. Futsal can be traced back to 1930, originating in the capital of Uruguay, Montevideo, where school teacher Juan Carlos Seriani developed an adaptation of football to be played recreationally at local YMCA's. The original game was established to be played in basketball-sized courts, indoors, and without the use of sidewalls. Spreading fast across South America, the first rulebook was published in 1936 in the true home of futsal, Sao Paulo, Brazil. In its early stages, the game helped to develop a whole host of football greats including Zico, Socrates, Bebeto, and the legend Pelé, who learned his trade through futsal. Pelé's electrifying play developed by futsal saw him reach the Brazil national team at the age of 16, going on to become the first and only player to win 3 FIFA World Cups in 1958, 1962, and 1970. With the help of the Brazilian superstars, the popularity of then called Futebol de Sala, which can be translated simply to indoor football, grew worldwide. This led to its first international competition, the South America Cup, taking place in 1965, with Paraguay taking the trophy home. The South American Cup continued with 6 more tournaments before 1979, which is Brazil won all 6. The game then left South America and spread worldwide, allowing the first FIFUSA World Championship in 1982, with the governing body being taken over by FIFA in 1989. FIFA took over Futebol de Sala, abbreviated its name to Futsal, and organized the first FIFA Futsal World Championship in the same year. This allowed futsal to become the only 5A-side version of the sport that FIFA supports. Under FIFA's authority, new rules were introduced to develop the technical aspects and speed of the game. The ball was replaced for a slightly larger size 4 ball with added weight to reduce bounce. Substitutions could be made at any point and were made unlimited. Linesmen were exchanged for a second referee. The FIFA Futsal World Championship has now grown for its original size of 16 nations to 24 nations, with 47 different nations entering the qualifying stages, making the 2016 FIFA Futsal World Cup the biggest in its 30-year period. The next FIFA Futsal World Cup will be staged in Lithuania in 2020. So that's it. I hope you've learned something from me about the history of soccer, football, and futsal. Bye!